Well, good morning. Let's see if I can do this. Yeah, there we go. Second time round. Slightly less nervous this time, but hopefully that doesn't mean that I was complacent. Putting in the captions and things, and it's so encouraging seeing people come on. You're kind of talking to a silent screen, but I can see how many people are watching, and I've got Facebook set up on my iPad over here, so I can see people popping up. Craig Hall's already posting links. I'm going to check that out afterwards. Already lots of discussion about the weather. It's still warm. It's still warm and it's still dry. I'm happy with that. I think Amanda says it's sunny in Pease Bay, so that gives me hope that the sun will break through later on. I did realise last night that I need to check my tent before camping, and we're on about day 10 of dry sunshine. I really should have done it probably about a week ago, but there we go. Anyway, since we're talking about the weather, I thought that this would be a good opening question just to get you chatting, to get you thinking. What is your favourite thing to do in the sunshine? I know that some of you just like lying there doing absolutely nothing. Others of you, a little bit like me, are completely incapable of lying, doing nothing. So what is your favourite thing to do in the sunshine? Maybe you've got a particular sunny spot of your garden. Or maybe your garden gets the morning sun but not the evening sun. Perhaps you're fortunate enough to have different patio areas for different times of the day. But what is your favourite thing to do in the sunshine? Let's have a look and see. Good morning, Richard Smith. Good morning, Carol Robson. Good morning, Linda and Ruth. See, Linda's quick. She says reading a book. Yeah, unless the sun's behind you and you get that kind of white glare on the pages, don't you? You know, when you forget your sunglasses. But absolutely, I love lying in the sun, sitting in the sun, reading a book. Liz says just sit and enjoy it. Absolutely, absolutely. Helen, Helen's still in Devon, but not so sunny. But it's still warm down there though, isn't it, Helen? It's a little bit cooler this morning here, but again, I think it'll probably pick up through the day. Carol, sit and chat with a friend in the sunshine. Yeah, absolutely. And Susan says walking, so long as it's not too hot. I know. For those of you who know Balerno and the Pentlands, just over a year ago, on what was probably the hottest day of lockdown last year, I thought it'd be a good idea to introduce Hazel to walking right up to the waterfall, which would have been fine had we not had to actually walk up to the reservoirs before we started to climb the hill. And I'm not sure she's forgiven me yet. It was seriously hot. But it was good fun. It was fine. Find some shade, Marjorie. Yeah, enjoy the warmth without the sunshine. Absolutely. And Ruth says drink tea and chat. Oh, now there's a controversy. Hot day. Do you still have a hot drink or do you go cold? It's always a tricky one. I have a vivid memory from when I was about 6 or 7 of my mum drinking coffee outside in the garden on a hot sunny day and me saying to her, why are you having a hot drink on a hot day? She said, oh, when you're a grown-up, you'll understand. If it's really hot, I don't want a hot drink. Iced coffee, I quite like an iced coffee. Iced lolly, yeah, whatever, but I don't want a hot drink when it's hot. Sue is in Pittenweem. Oh, all these people get, oh, Wendy, now Wendy's talking. Sitting in the garden with a book and a cold glass of German beer. I'm on my way. Maybe slightly early for the beer. I'll maybe come round later on. But yeah, hopefully the sun will shine later on and we can have another glorious, glorious day. My garden is even dry, like I'm having to actually water things at the moment. Craig's on the cold beer as well. Yeah, love it, love it, love it. Let's have a look. Sitting on the beach and listening to the waves crashing. Oh, I just want to do that now. I am looking forward to going camping up in the northwest of Scotland in a few weeks' time. And I'm definitely planning to sit on the beach with a beer, possibly even a sunset. That would be good, wouldn't it? Anyway, it's Wednesday morning, and I'm going to ask you another question because it's going to introduce this morning's thought. Okay, Craig's already answered by talking about a barbecue, but what is your favorite meal? What is your favorite meal? I actually planned this a few days ago, and then last night I got the opportunity to go out for a meal, like actually to a restaurant. It was amazing, and it was with a friend who I don't usually see. It's a friend who works down south, lives down south, and happened to be up for work, and said, "Hey, can you get a babysitter? I have my work credit card. Let's go to dinner." And it was just fantastic to sit in a restaurant and to eat a meal and just chat. It was absolutely fantastic. So what's your favorite meal? Let's have a look and see. Oh, look, Ruth's come back and said a cup of tea and a can of Diet Coke. So there we go. We've got the hot drink, cold drink sorted. We'll have both. Absolutely. Oh, yeah. Oh, I'm loving seeing the comments coming in. I get a bit distracted, actually, looking at the comments. I don't know about you. I know some of you just listen. Amanda says, the meal that someone else makes. Yes, definitely. I know, I'm very appreciative when somebody else cooks me a meal, especially when they don't let me help with washing up as well. And there's been a few more of them recently, hasn't there? Which is really, really lovely. I'll keep an eye on those, but it does introduce us to this morning's thought. You see, certainly in this house, and certainly over kind of WhatsApp and on the odd occasional walk that we went on, one of the main things talked about in lockdown last year was food. Biscuit sales rocketed. Bread making resulted in flour shortages. Restaurants and pubs switched to takeaways. Parents had to actually make lunch for their children. And celebrities worked hard to ensure that actually every child got a lunch. I really quite enjoyed knowing that we would be at home for every meal. And that meant there was less food waste. And when we were only doing click and collect, that was really, really helpful in the planning. And I really enjoyed having less waste and having the time to cook meals. But as a nation, our relationship with food is not the greatest. We might enjoy it, but it's not the greatest because we eat too much salt, too many carbs, not enough fruit or vegetables, too much junk food. We should use meal prep services. We should support local takeaways. We should avoid processed food. Maybe not so much red meat. Almond milk is a no-no. Farmed fish is a no-no. Cucumbers used to be curvy, but now they're straight. I mean, that's a whole other discussion, isn't it? Bananas are still curvy. Are they fair trade? Is palm oil ever sustainable? Are big bags of crisps genuinely meant to be shared? Our relationship with food is not the greatest. And some of you will remember a sermon series, probably a few years ago now, and I think it was the evening service, about meals from biblical times. And I seem to remember there were recipes that we could take away and try, and the meals described were somewhat different to what we would be used to. But meals in biblical times, in the time between when Jesus was on earth and now, in fact, everywhere through history, meal times are an opportunity to share hospitality and to partake in deep, proper conversations. I suspect we've got a bit fussier since then. And if you've got guests coming, it's always good to know if they're vegetarian, vegan, celiac, dairy-free. But having a meal with someone else is just amazing. Just amazing. I have to say, the meal last night was amazing. And our number one topic of conversation was also food. And not even necessarily the food in front of us, just food in general. Let's have a look. We've got some favourite meals here. Oh, my comments have stopped. That's fine. I'll just keep spruffing. Hazel recently asked me to explain firstborn birthrights. Now, of course, the question was asked just when she was supposed to be going to sleep, but it was a good one. However, as I started trying to explain birthrights and inheritance and all of this to an almost 8-year-old, she said, "Mom, I get that it's important, but was it really worth a bowl of stew?" So then I knew that she was talking about Jacob and Esau. It's one of those examples in the Bible when food is a key part of the narrative. When the Israelites were in the wilderness, they were starving, properly starving, not like when I need a bag of crisps. I mean, I class that as starving, but, you know, they're not quite the same, are they? Jesus invited himself to Zacchaeus' house for tea. And then when he explained his death and the significance, he did it over a meal. And I'm just so glad that as restrictions lift, we can enjoy meals with more people because it's just an easy setting in which to chat. So who have you invited round for a meal? Or who have you met for a meal? Perhaps you're still being cautious and it's sandwiches on a wall as you go for a walk. Perhaps it's a meal at your local pub or restaurant, or perhaps you've ventured further and had a posh meal. But who have you met to chat with over food? And can you introduce Jesus into that conversation? Reflecting on the last 15 months actually gives us an amazing opportunity to talk about church. You see, people think that they know what church is. You put your Sunday best on, you sit on a hard pew, you have to keep quiet. You might have been given 20 pence to put into the collection bag. That old lady who you've never seen in your life before probably will want to come and kiss you. And people have all these stereotypical images of church in their head, and sometimes that creates a barrier that we have to try and break down, and it's hard. But people don't know what church looks like in a pandemic or in lockdown or online. They genuinely don't know. So when we get a chance to talk to them about it, we're starting from nothing. We're not having to change their misconceptions or explain why they've got the wrong image in their head. And so we can talk to them about church is creative. It's about Zoom. It's about going for walks. It's about connections and soaking times. It's about meeting people from all generations when you're out. It's about WhatsApp support and prayer over text message. It's about gifts of blessing on the doorstep. It's about pastoral support that isn't ever shouted about. It's about being community. It's about being love. And this is an amazing time that we've got to talk about church without having to correct people's misconceptions. And so the vision for this year of Be Love is just so appropriate. It's there, it's real, it's what people want. People have loved the community spirit. But we've already got that in church. We've had community spirit in church since long before COVID. And there's such loneliness in this nation. There is such loneliness. And through lockdown and through WhatsApp support groups, and people discovered that actually knowing others around was really beneficial. We already had that in church. We've already got that. And so we can talk to people about what that looked like and what that looks like. As I said, I wrote this, a few days ago, and last night I got to go out for dinner, and today I'm off for a lunchtime walk with someone who specifically said to me, I'd love to know what church looks like for kids in a pandemic. Will you tell me? Yes, yes, I'll tell you. Let's go for a walk. Yes. And I'm so looking forward to that. And as it happens, tonight is vestry, and the 0 to 18 team are reviewing our last year. And so, well, I might have just kind of summarized the overview in my head, but seriously, we have an amazing opportunity as we come out of lockdown and as restrictions lift to share time and food with other people, and to talk about the fact that church is love, and to tell them that they can be part of that, to tell them that some of the things we've really missed are there in church, and that they can find Jesus' love and Jesus' family there. And maybe some of those conversations will turn into invitations. And even if a Sunday morning is hard, there's previous services, sermons, midweek words, mighty mungos, they're all there. They're all on YouTube, Facebook. Somebody can watch it in secret, in private, perhaps before they come to a face-to-face service. So let's use that opportunity of having a meal to talk about being love. And let's see who we can talk to about Jesus this week. So I'm going to stop talking about food and love just momentarily, although, you know, me being me, I'll probably come back to it. But one of the other things going on, well, there's lots of things going on, but there is still time if you want to join the connections. Oh, wait a minute, I've got a caption, wait a minute. Notices, rewind. Tomorrow night is Connections, and there's still space to sign up. Connections is just an amazing chance to gather with other people, and there's not a limit to how many people come, so you can sign up till really quite late on. David Brown will be talking about work and the stress that sometimes brings, and how we deal with that, how we reduce it, how we minimize it, how we approach it. And he's got some other people involved. He's got a wealth of experience, and there will also be breakout rooms for those who want to chat afterwards. You don't have to do that. If you want to just log in and listen to the experts talking and then log out, that's absolutely fine. But Connections is on tomorrow night. This weekend, we've got some different bits and pieces. We've got youth on Friday night. We've got some primary kids on Saturday. Those of you from Livingston have got a service on Sunday. Can't wait to see you. I'll be outside with the primary age children. I am so looking forward to that. And there was probably something else I was supposed to tell you in notices. Maybe? Don't know. Keep an eye on Facebook, the website, your email, all of that. Julia says, wealth of experience, does that equal old? No, just cramming lots and lots of learning into a short period of time. Enough of that. Let's see what other comments we have got going here. Susan says her favorite meal is any meal with friends, and she's got 3 likes. There you go. There's the next 3 people who'd like to go out for dinner with you, Susan. I love the fact that actually also going for a meal, you can do it with someone who you might not be able to chat to for an hour about nothing. You know, I've got some friends I could chat to for 10 hours about nothing, and I've got other friends who are actually going out to do something, which has been missing this year, to go and share a meal. It's like a focus. It's like a focus for the conversation, and it just sometimes is easier, isn't it? Yeah. Let's have a look. David Brown says, yes, it does. Yes, David. You see, I know that you've just crammed all that experience into a short period of time. I mean, you can admit to Julia if you're old, if you like. That's on the comments. I didn't say that. I definitely didn't say that. I like the banter going on here. I like the banter. Right, where else am I? Here we go. Word. Sure, that was like, a cool quote or something from the 90s. Or maybe I'm remembering a really weird TV show. Anyway, when I was thinking about this morning and praying about this morning, I felt God asking me to share with you a picture that I've actually shared with a few people already. So apologies if you've already heard this. I'm part of a prayer cell who pray for the local schools, but more specifically the links and relationships that we have around the school. So it started out being called Schoolgate Mums, and it's about the kids and the parents we know through school. It's about the challenges and the experiences. We prayed lots into new management at the school, and we pray for the people we know who are having kind of tough times. And a couple of weeks ago, I just had this picture that stuck with me. Sometimes you get a picture and it just doesn't go away. And so I thought I'd share it with you. It ties in with our vision this year as well. And I'm going to get online and try to find an image of it that I could either like print or order, because it really is just stuck in my head. And it was an image of pollen. I'm not a scientist, so I don't really know what pollen looks like, but I think that's part of it. So in this vision that I had, it looked a bit like one of those little bits off the dandelion clocks, that the kids love to blow and that the gardeners hate. And I just had this real sense that pollen blows around in the air, and sometimes it sticks to people and other times it just blows elsewhere. And some of the people that it sticks to are really affected by it. Some people are really aware of it and it has an impact on them. And I really felt that God said, do you know what? Being love is like that. We can be love, and some people will realize what we're doing and some people won't. But some of what we do when we're being love will stick. And some of it will have an impact. And even if it doesn't, it's still there. It's still blowing around. And you don't know when or where it will stick. And you don't know who will be really touched by that. And I just felt like God saying, be love. Because you just don't know when the impact of that will be significant. And it's just really stuck with me for, I think, probably for 2 weeks now. And so I've been praying into that. And if that's helpful for you, then take that and pray into it and think about it. And if that's not kind of relevant to you at the moment, or if that's not what God's trying to say to you this morning, then I just pray that would just kind of disappear from your mind and that you wouldn't remember it. But if that's an encouragement to you this morning, then be love. And sometimes it will have an impact. Right, let's see how we are doing. I get very confused on time as well. Oh, perfect. We've got about 4 minutes left. Amazing. What other comments have we got here? Lara says, loving your enthusiasm. Thank you, Lara. It's yeah, I'm not always this enthusiastic, honestly. I've had coffee. Anne says, great image. Thank you, Anne. Yeah, it was definitely from God, not me. Definitely not me, but definitely from God. Amazing. Let's see. By the way, if any of you, I'm going back to food again. You see, I told you I would. If any of you discover somewhere new for food, then let me know. I'm always up for recommendations. I am told that there is a new Thai takeaway opening in Curry shortly. This excites me greatly. Possibly doesn't excite my credit card quite as much, but oh my goodness, Thai food. Oh, bring it on. It's not too early in the morning to be thinking about Thai food and cold beer, is it? Definitely not. Definitely not. Right, let's see. We've only got a few minutes left. Let me have a look and see. Oh, I know what I've not looked at. Oh, yeah, here we go. Wendy Brown loved Thai food. Yeah, me too. There's a Thai takeaway in Mid-Calder. There is? Do they deliver to Balerno? Actually, I have to say the number of takeaways that deliver to Balerno has increased significantly in the last 15 months, which is very exciting. Very exciting. And oh my goodness, apps to deliver. I get a bit nervous, I have to admit, with things like Just Eat and Deliveroo. People who live in the city centre say they're all fine, but I get a bit nervous that, you know, the actual restaurant hasn't got it. But apps for specific takeaways, they're both a wonderful thing and an awful thing, both at once. Oh, Catherine says, loving the pollen image, the love sticking to our friends and family as they hang out around us. Yeah, I'm excited by it. I'm excited by it. I should probably have been excited when Ollie shared the vision, you know, several weeks ago, but I'm a bit delayed in my reactions. It was, you know, kind of 2 or 3 weeks after that I had this kind of image and went, oh, I'm really excited about this vision now. Yay! Just a bit late to the party, that's all. I've got lots of people just saying me too, and I'm like, is that to the love of food or the love of pollen, or possibly both? Apologies. So some of you have been commenting and they come through to my computer over here, and I forgot that they were there. I was looking just at my iPad and the comments there, so I've probably missed some. I'm really sorry. Wendy Brown says, ask Catherine Burnett for takeaway expenses. Yeah, does that mean if I have like a volunteer come for, if you're on my team and you want to share a meal, it's on Catherine? Rewind that. Yeah, we're live. I can't retake it. But oh, dearie me. Catherine says, thanks for the joy this morning. Yeah, I suspect my coffee was not decaf this morning. Either that or I am just buzzing it, just enjoying some time with you guys, because it's lovely. It's the chat before and after services and meetings that we're all really, really missing, isn't it? Anyway, time marches on. My little countdown here that I got wrong last time, but I'm on the ball with this time, says I have less than 1 minute left. So I will say thank you so much for joining us. Thank you so much for being here, for all your comments. I'm going to go through them all. Check out the links that people have sent, check out the comments, check out the takeaways that have been recommended. Feel free to pass any more of them. Let me just pray and then I will let you all get on with your day. Father God, thank you that we are a community together. Thank you that we can think seriously and we can have a laugh on a Wednesday morning and just know that we are part of your family. We're part of the big family of God. There's an earworm for today. Father, would you just go with each of us and would you just help us to be love with those who we encounter, whether it's just bumping into them in the street or whether it's an arranged meal. Would you help us just to be love to those around us today and this week? Amen. Guys, it has been an absolute pleasure as always. Have a fabulous day and I will see you all really soon. Okay, bye-bye. God bless.